Good day, all. This is Charles with the Exodus Logistics Learning Center, America's #1 dispatcher and freight broker training. Today is the first video in our how-to video series. So I'm going to do some navigating to the locations, explain in video format what each video represents and how to perform the tasks in those certain videos. So the first video, I believe, is the FMCSA register. So what you're seeing now is the home screen of the website, www.exodusdispatchingandtraining.com. So from here, if you are on the dispatcher side, you will go under the dispatcher, go to the member portal access. Under member portal access, you will see under tools, docs, resources. We highlight that for you. You will see how-to video series. So now you have our training videos library, which is every live Zoom training we have. We record those trainings, and those recorded trainings are stored in our video trainings library, or our training videos library, I should say. But now we've come up with a new how-to video series that goes into specific commonly asked questions. And I wanted to put it in video format so you guys can go to that location specifically. You know, you may ask questions, well, hey, how do you navigate the FMCSA website? Or how do you navigate SAFER? Or how do you do this? Or how do you do that, right? So I wanted to create some how-to videos to answer those types of questions. So under tools, docs, resources, you will click the how-to. And in the how-to, there is a YouTube video explaining the content of the page, okay? But we have blue hyperlinks, and they're not activated yet because this is the first one. But we're gonna speak about the first one will be FMCSA. And under our self-paced modules, which is module 1, okay? Use get carriers using FMCSA, Trucking Planet, that directory, 123 load board. These are the ways that we utilize to get carriers to either cold call, do text campaigns or email blasts, things like that, text blasts, email campaigns. So this one is going to be speaking about the FMCSA register. What does FMCSA stand for? It stands for Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. They produce a register of individuals who have applied for their operating authority. There's other information back there as well, but we are targeting those individuals who are looking to become new owner operators, new motor carriers. Those are the ones that we believe are in need of dispatching the most. So from here, we can either go through it from our web portal, or tab to our website. We can either get to the FMCSA website from our tools and resources, or if you're not a member, you can always open up a browser and type fmcsa.dot.gov, okay? And it'll take you to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration site. Okay, and then there's information in here. So under safety, right, you could look up company safety data, right? So under company safety data, then you would go down to safety and fitness electronic record, which is the SAFER, and you will click the company snapshot link, and it'll take you to the exact location in the same place that we have in our tools and resources, okay? So the trend line SAFER, or if you scroll down on this is for members, scroll down, here's the same thing, SAFER website, okay? Just showing you a different way to get to it, okay? fmcsa.dot.gov, go under safety data, and then under safety data, or under safety, and then company safety data, you scroll down to safety and fitness electronic records. I'm just repeating it so you guys can see. And then you select company snapshot, okay? And it takes you to the SAFER site. This is a company snap. This shows information about a company based off of their MC, DOT, or the name of the company, okay? We want to get to the register, which contains a list of those people, those new entrants who have applied for an operating authority. It's a PDF file, if you will. So from here, you would enter a DOT, an MC, or a name of a company. And let's just put some data in here. Make a note of that number just for yourselves to go practice. 1264520. And it's just a name of a company. I'm just putting that in there so you can know how to navigate through the SAFER website to the register, okay? So from here, when you get to this results set page, you'll see information about the carrier that we just entered their MC in, their motor carrier number in. Now, in another video, we'll go into detail about what each of these things mean, but for now, we just want to navigate to the FMCSA register. So from here, you will notice it says other information for this carrier, okay? And two links, SMS, safety measurement system results. That's what SMS stands for. And then licensing and insurance. You would click the licensing and insurance, okay? And it takes you to the second page, the licensing and insurance page, okay? From the licensing and insurance page, you will click the choose menu option drop-down list and select FMCSA register, and then click go, okay? Now you have a list of reports in PDF and HTML format. You can either choose any one, but in most cases, I often tell dispatchers to choose the oldest one, right? Because it's more of a chance that their authority is now active, you know, some 2 weeks ago, right? So choose the one. In this example, we're going to say that the March 28th PDF report link. Once you click that link, it opens up to the actual FMCSA register, the U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration register, okay? A daily summary of motor carrier applications and of decisions and notices issued by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. So what does that mean? Well, any name changes, and remember, this is 148 pages. Any name changes, transfers, revocations, in other words, a license or an authority was revoked, address changes, anything that affect that particular person's, as it relates to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration and DOT, will be journaled or entered into the register, okay? We are looking specifically for motor carriers in our particular case. The type of motor carriers we're looking for are interstate common carriers of property except household good, all right? And in the SAFER register here, in the SAFER website, SAFER, remember, stands for Safety and Fitness Electronic Records. So you have fitness types and you have non-fitness types. So we're gonna scroll through. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna hit a page a little bit ahead, double click. You can actually double click in the box where it says page 1, hit enter, and it takes you to page 1. But you can, if you want to, instead of scrolling down with your mouse, you can double click and select an advanced page and hit enter, and it takes you to that page. All right, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit just to see where we are and get an idea, because it's sectioned off in categories, right? So let's say 70. Okay, so now, so we're out of the name change, I believe it was, the notices. Now we got miscellaneous sections, then we have transfers, right? And now we have, okay, transfers. We're in the transfer section, right? And now we're going into the non-fitness. Remember I said fitness and non-fitness, SAFER, safety and fitness or non-fitness electronic records, right? We are looking for the fitness category of the type of carriers that we want to potentially call and possibly dispatch for. Okay, so non-fitness is not the category that we want to target carriers on because they do not qualify for our category, right? Our categories was what? Common carrier of property except household goods, who is of the interstate classification, right? Interstate, not intrastate. INTERSTATE and not INTRASTATE. What's the difference between an interstate and an intrastate carrier? Interstate can cross state lines and go outside of the state that they reside in. Intrastate just has a DOT and they can just move freight within the boundaries of their state that they live in. That's intrastate. But interstate, just like interstate commerce or an interstate, like you're driving on an interstate highway, those interstate highways cross state lines into different states, right? Any major interstate is going to cross state lines, right? So the non-fitness categories are not the ones that we are worried about. And it gives you a definition of what makes up the non-fitness ones. These are motor, common, and contract carriers of household goods. That's not us. Motor carriers of passengers. That's not us. And let me break this down a little bit too. There are different types of authorities, right, for the carriers. There are common carriers, number one, contract carriers, passenger carriers, and household good carriers. The type of carriers that you guys, beginner dispatchers, are going to be focusing on are the common carriers of property except household goods. So none of which fall in the non-fitness category here. So we're going to scroll through and get to the fitness category. So let's just scroll through. And now we are in the fitness category. Let me enlarge this a little bit for you. There we go. So fitness category, motor, common, and contract carriers of property except household goods. We are in that category. And we are in the motor common carrier, not the contract carriers. We want anyone who could move common or general freight across state lines for anyone, for any broker, any shipper, anybody, okay? There are other categories, but we're not worried about that as long as the ones that we want to dispatch for fall in this category, then we are fine, and it does. So the fitness category under the register is the category that you want to scroll down to. In this case, it's on page 78 of this particular PDF. So how do you read this? Let's scroll down a little bit more. If you notice, it's in columns. So there's a number column, filed column, applicant column, and representative column. Okay, the number column is their number, their FF number or MC number or DOT number. FF stands for freight forwarder. So this person has applied for a freight forwarder. They filed for that on this date, the 23rd of March of this year. The applicant's name is the company's name, and the representative of that company is this person here. So that's how you read that. And then the type of authority that they apply for is below, is the last thing you would see under that particular person. They are freight forwarder of property. Remember, FF stands for freight forwarder. So this listing is in alphabetical order. So F comes before M. So we can scroll down to the past the F section to get to the M section. And the first one we see, we'll kind of look at it. So right here, this is the first one. So if you remember, number, date, filed, not the date that their authority became active. I want to make a note of that. When you see filed and the date, it's the date that they filed and applied for an operating authority. It's not the date that they were granted and their authority became active. So be mindful of that, okay? The person, the applicant and the representative are the same people. So they apply as themselves and they represent themselves in this case, okay? Agnes, right? And their type of authority is interstate. Remember, we said interstate, common carrier, except household goods. That is the category, okay? So when you are looking at the FMCSA register, these are the types of carriers that you can potentially call to decide if you want to, or determine if you want to dispatch for. Now, there are some extra steps that there at least one extra step that you want to do. You want to look up either their MC number or the name of the company. And this is a car service, just to kind of vet them out, right? But this is the step, this is the initial step if you are going to utilize the FMCSA register to look up potential carriers to call who have just applied for an operating authority, not received one, but just applied for one, okay? That's what this date represents. This date is the date that they filed the OP1, they filled out the OP1 form on the fmcsa.dot.gov website, paid the $300. FMCSA made a journal entry into their register reflecting that, hey, this person on the 23rd of March filed for an interstate common carrier authority. They have to go through other things though. They have to get insurance, they have to get a BOC3, they have to get UCR, they have to get all these other qualifying requirements in order for their authority to become active. But at least they are listed here now as having filed for an authority. So they're new, they're just not active yet. So you still could potentially go after them and say, hey, I'm a dispatching company. Once your authority becomes active, are you looking to have dispatch service to assist you finding freight or something along those lines? Kind of get in ahead of the game to kind of see if they need your services, okay? So that's it for the FMCSA register, how to navigate to the site, what it's for, and how to identify the proper section and right types of carriers to target, okay? Remember the MC number, the date filed, not the date it's active, the applicant, or that could be a person's name or a company name. It could be categorized as the applicant column, and then the representative of that applicant, and it could be the same person, you know, and it's like in this example. So, and in the type of authority that they applied for, okay? Interstate, that's the category that you as new beginner dispatching companies will look for. Interstate, not intrastate, interstate common carrier of property except household goods, okay? Hopefully this helped. The next video will show another way how to find carriers. I believe it's Trucking Planet. Until then, I will see you then. Thank you.